What can Indians learn from the true story of Australia's worst female serial killer? A mother who spent 20 years in prison for a crime that shocked the world. But there is a big mystery in the story, a secret that remained unknown for years. As we tell you this story, you will discover a surprising connection to one of India's most pressing health concerns, which is heart attack. Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Sarita and welcome to my channel Dr. Sarita Deva. Today, we will uncover real-world scientific mysteries in our new series, Med Mysteries. Today's story is about Kathleen Folbigg. Her life started with a tragedy from a very early age. When she was just 18 months old, she experienced something which never a child should experience. In a fit of anger, her father stabbed her mother 24 times, bleeding her to death. Imagine what would be the condition of this child, what would be her future. Of course, it would be very challenging, without any love or affection. As Kathleen grew up, for the first time in life, she experienced something which seemed like true love. But was it really? After years of struggle, she found a glimmer of hope. When she was 20 years old in 1987, she married Craig Folbigg. Now, she was filled with dreams of building a happy family she always wanted. Imagine how happy and excited she would be after all these years of loneliness. But perhaps fate had some other plans for her. On 1st February 1989, Kathleen's first child, Caleb, was born. This brought her immense joy. She was so extremely happy. However, 19 days later, she wakes up in the middle of the night and she found that her baby was not breathing, he was lifeless. Imagine how devastated she would have been. So both Kathleen and her husband were heartbroken. But what was the cause of this tragedy? The autopsy concluded that the cause of death was sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS. The couple's resilience was tested when they lost 3 more children, Patrick, Sarah, and Laura. Each death was more baffling than the other. Patrick passed away at 8 months old. Initially, the death was thought to be related to epilepsy. Next, it was her daughter Sarah, who passed away at the age of 10 months. Next, after a long gap and after many discussions, they planned for the next child. In 1997, their 4th child, Laura, was born. And she also survived for more than a year. However, when she was 19 months old, she passed away. The exact cause of her death was not known, although myocarditis was identified in her heart. Imagine trying to put yourself in Kathleen's shoes. I tried to do it several times, but it's almost impossible to feel the pain that she went through. But then, think about the unbearable pain of losing not only one, but all 4 of her children. But what about her husband Craig? He too was equally broken. But something very different was revolving in his mind. One day, he secretly read one of Kathleen's diaries. Kathleen had the habit of diary writing for several years. When Craig read these diaries, he was suspicious. He believed that Kathleen had a dark side. Kathleen's life took a sudden, unexpected turn. Craig handed over the diary to the police. This led to charges against Kathleen, and by 2003, she was sentenced to 25 years for death of her 4 children. Kathleen was labelled as Australia's worst female serial killer. It's no surprise that people were against her. I mean, anyone would be upset at a mother who is jailed for killing her own children. And it's also very easy to correlate, right? Her father's past, he was a murderer, so people thought that Kathleen must be one as well. When you link her troubled past to her present and what happened to her children, it's very likely and it's easy for everyone to believe that she was guilty. However, throughout the case, Kathleen kept on telling again and again that she was innocent. Some of her friends, despite the suspicion, still relied on the innocence of Kathleen. A shocking secret was awaiting for everyone. Even Kathleen was not aware of this mystery. When you look into this case, there is something that really stands out. There was absolutely no evidence to show that Kathleen's children were either smothered or harmed. This raised a lot of questions. Because of this, some of Kathleen's friends started a campaign. They wanted to re-examine her conviction, especially focusing on what the forensic pathology report said. This makes you think, isn't it? We always jump on conclusion and judge people, but sometimes we do not give importance to the evidence. Sometimes things might not be as clear-cut as it seemed at first. Think about this like a detective. Laura, the youngest, was almost 19 months when she passed away. Now at this age, kids usually have teeth, right? So if she was smothered, one would expect to see some kind of struggle, be it the teeth mark or some kind of defensive injuries. But here is the twist. None of that was found. It's a crucial piece of puzzle. Then what really happened? This lack of evidence adds another layer of complexity to the entire case. This mystery caught the attention of several scientists. The team of expert scientists were led by Professor Carola Vinuesa from Australian National University. What they found was stunning. From now on, it gets a little bit complicated, but let me explain you in simple terms. Before proceeding further, let's look at some basics. What is a DNA? DNA carries genetic information for the development and functioning of an organism. This DNA here, as you see, it is made up of thousands of genes, and each gene encodes corresponding proteins. DNA is made up of millions to billions of base pairs. In human, there are around 3.2 billion base pairs. These base pairs, like the A, D, G, and C, these are like the different letters that are put in different combinations to give rise to the proteins. So from DNA, we get mRNA, and from mRNA, we get the proteins. And these proteins are made up of amino acids. The proteins are very important for almost all the functioning of the different parts of an organism. Let's take an example. Hemoglobin. It is required to supply oxygen to different organs in the body. They discovered something really important in Kathleen's DNA and also in her daughter's DNA. There was a special kind of mutation in a gene named CAM2, and this gene encodes for a protein called calmodulin 2. And this protein here is very important for the proper functioning of the heart. So, what happened in Kathleen's daughter's case, that there was a change in these bases, and because of which the protein was mutated, and this protein was not properly functioning. This mutation is known to cause heart problems, even leading to sudden cardiac deaths. This discovery suggested that what happened to her daughters might have been due to this rare genetic issue. This also answers why Kathleen's children did not show any defensive injury. Regarding Kathleen's son, the team of scientists found another mutation which was different from their daughter's mutation. This mutation is associated with sudden epilepsy, and the point to note is her son experienced seizures before his death. Thanks to science, that highlighted the fact that the death of Kathleen's children could have been a genetic problem, and it wasn't Kathleen who intentionally killed her children. After spending 20 years in jail, Kathleen was finally released. Now, what has this story to do with India? This case resonates deeply with us in India, where heart-related issues are a growing concern. Did you know that every minute 230 people in India die from heart attacks? Even young people below the age of 35 are victims of heart attack. Heart attack doesn't even spare teenagers. Indians are 4 to 5 times more prone to heart attack or heart diseases compared to other races due to their genetic composition. But what is the reason? One of the largest reasons is their genetic composition. It's a lot complicated than we think, but let me give you an example. A gene named MYBPC3 encodes cardiac myosin binding protein C. A tiny part missing, a 24 base pair deletion in this gene, is pretty common in about 4% of people of Indian ancestry. This gene is crucial. It helps the heart muscle work. This small deletion in the gene is not found in Europeans. It is only found in Indians. The patients who get these mutations, they have a higher risk of getting heart disorders compared to those people who do not have this mutation. So it's like a small but significant difference in their genetic makeup that makes us Indians more prone to heart diseases. When these genetic factors interact with epigenetic factors like smoking, unhealthy diet, or poor lifestyle, that's when the chances of getting heart diseases increases more and more. It's like these lifestyle changes can activate or worsen the genetic risks that we already have. Kathleen Folbigg's story is more than a mystery. It shows how sometimes the systems can fail. More importantly, it shows how we should understand our own body, our own genes, and have to go for genetic testing. It's not just about solving mysteries, it is about saving lives. As we continue to see a rise in heart attacks in India, especially among the youth, it's time to advocate about genetic testing to create more awareness. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for many such interesting facts. Thank you.